What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 289 of the Chumpcast. We have a returning guest. AJ, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back.
We decided we were going to save you for the best movie that we would ever possibly see because we wanted to get your input on this movie and literally nothing else.
I texted Brick this morning that I will never forgive him for forcing me to watch this movie. So thank you, and I can't wait to tell everyone all my great opinions on it.
Yeah, as I recall, I did give us an option to watch The Bubble, and we were like, maybe Morbius, though. And Mark was like,
Mark was definitely
big Morbius guy. He's like
I'm
locked in
big
on
Morbius.
I'm working on my yarn board, like my CIA, like connecting the dots. Guys, I'm really thinking that Mark is in Jared Leto's cult.
I could actually see it. Now that you mention it, he has been being a Jared Leto apologist for quite some time.
There are a few guys out there who are just weirdos who Mark defends like to the end of the earth. And Jared Leto is typically one of them, the other being Machine Gun Kelly.
And Kelly, yeah. Mark did reach out to me and ask, he said that since you have not seen any of the Punishment movies yet still.
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any Punishment. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, have you seen? Did you
see
watch
Old?
Old?
That's the one I haven't seen.
It's
I
a
did
stigma
Cats.
to
I
your
did Outer
relationship.
Banks. I've done
It's a
so
stigma to
many
your relationship.
Punishment movies.
Once you don't pay one, you're a welcher.
Okay. Build
Yes.
a million bridges.
Now I completely lost track of where I was going with that. But
Okay, great.
he wanted me to make you listen to the entire Machine Gun Kelly album that just released
Oof.
and give a review on that.
Got to.
Did y'all see Machine Gun Kelly on Howard Stern this week when he performed a System of a Down cover?
That's where this argument came from because I
Awful.
posted that in our Discord
great.
and said, what a piece of shit.
You know, it's not nearly as bad as the Puddle of Mud Nirvana cover, but it's in the same arena, ballpark, and man, there are certain bands you just don't cover, and I feel like System of a Down is near the top of the list of things you just leave alone, you know?
You
It's a
do not
very
come
unique
at Surge
sound.
Tankian like you have
No.
that voice. Nobody
No.
has that voice.
Well, especially when you're going to sing it
Wait,
completely monotone. Like, it just sounded, oh.
That's his range. I agree. I have no idea why he puts himself through that. Like he did that with Paramore.
Ooh, yeah.
It's almost like he's
you
dumb as
can't-
fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, he did a mix of Puddle of Mud and
No,
Nirvana.
no, no.
Puddle of Mud did Nirvana.
Yeah. Look that up. when you
Which
get
is a
chance.
really
Oh.
bold choice.
Yeah, that's a real treat on the ears.
Didn't they sing that song? She
Fucking hates me.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, welcome into the episode. Wild week. I'm sure we got a lot to get to. Nobody cares about this, but I'm sad, so you have to hear about it. I have to say goodbye to the Rubicon. Mark, tell me your favorite story of the best ride you ever took in the Rubicon.
What's a Rubicon?
Wow, I hate
your
you.
Jeep?
Yeah, so I...
No, his best ride was you driving up to his garage and then having to jumper cable him
I
from a
forgot
fucking
about that.
million miles away, trudging in like feet of snow while he just like is inside on his phone, just being like, "Yeah, I think you got it."
Even though he
Smithers-
had another set of jumper cables
That were long.
that I could have connected to my set of jumper cables.
Wait, tell this story proper for AJ. So AJ, you know in Dumb and Dumber, the iconic scene where he's like, I've had an extra pair of gloves, or you had an extra pair of gloves the whole time, and he's freaking out. That literally happened when I asked Smithers to jump my car one time. Like we were trying to get the car closer, and I ended up just having a longer set of jumper cables I could reach, and he was just so pissed.
It reminds me of when I was in college and I lost my keys, and for like a week, I didn't have to drive anywhere, so it wasn't a big deal. But for a week, I was like, "Fuck, I can't find my keys." And then I'm outside trying to break into my car after a week to get inside and see what I can do. And my roommate walks out and goes, "Oh, yeah, well, let me know if you can't get in. I have AAA. I can call them for you." I'm like, "It's been a fucking week, man. You should tell me this a week ago."
Oh, God, we're idiots. Yeah, I still have a Jimmy. When I was in high school, I worked at a body shop in a small town in the middle of nowhere, and
Car guy.
we also towed. And every DUI, they would just send us to go get them. So the cops always threw the keys on the driver's seat, and we had to, and locked it because obviously they didn't want to be liable for any of that. So we got really good at breaking into cars, and I still have a Jimmy. So if you ever get locked in your car or out of your car, let me know. I can come get in it for you. It's surprisingly simple.
Yeah, I've seen it done. It is very easy.
Yeah. So I guess, Brick, the first thing you said when you hopped on this was, we're not going to waste time talking about Will Smith, right? And what do you guys think about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock?
Oh, man.
I wanted to talk about it. We were going to talk about this anyways because...
Well, we had to. It's not that nothing else
There's
happened.
nothing that we bring to this. We have nothing to add here, okay? All we can do is talk about how out of touch everyone is, and it doesn't matter. But now a lot of we're not going to have to sit through a lot of bad Will Smith movies that would have been coming before. They've been put on the back burner, and we're not going to end up getting Bright 2.
Bummer. Wow, dude. Dagger to the heart with that one.
I know Mark
Joel
is very
Edgerton,
sad.
the one where Joel Edgerton's like a fairy troll and he's just like completely useless in that whole movie.
Well, Mark is sad because it would have had a special feature with Jared Leto where he does a 30 Seconds to Mars song with MGK, and that would have been the titular song.
They're going to do Pink Floyd's Time.
Oh, this whole thing is just a really good reminder to me that like humans are so bad at reacting to things in real time, because there's no good take on this. There's like the comedians who are like, oh, they're putting up signs at the Comedy Cellar that says we have to protect comedians. And then there's other people saying we need to take his Oscar away. Who cares? Like, there's no good way to think about this. It's so stupid on all fronts. And I just want something else to happen in the news so we can all talk about something else.
I agree.
But it was hilarious. Everyone had the same
my dick
reaction.
off.
Everyone had the
It's
same
very
reaction.
funny.
Like, what the fuck?
I
Was that
immediately
real?
beat that meme into the ground. I could not stop myself.
Yeah.
You bitch slapped everybody in the Discord with a couple of memes. You bitch, like, if anyone who would had a reaction to your meme would get bitch slap memed.
My favorite is you made a joke that I had made like 3 minutes prior, and all you had to do was scroll up, and it was me slapping you for not scrolling the fuck up.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Kevin? Do you know Kevin Sussman? He's the comic book owner guy from Big Bang Theory. He actually had a pretty hilarious tweet that summed up this whole situation. He was like, Will Smith seemed fine when I worked with him 17 years ago on Hitch. I realized it didn't mean much, but I honestly can't think of any other way to make it about myself.
I saw that tweet. I didn't know who that was. That's even funnier somehow. Hitch is a banger of a movie, though.
Good flick.
All time.
Oh, my God. Incredible stuff.
Probably peak Kevin James.
That's what I was about to say that word for word. Except for I was gonna say Kevin Heffernan.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. I think that's an underrated movie. I like that a lot.
Oh boy. I don't know about that one.
What about Here Comes the Boom? No, him as Sean Payton.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get an Oscar for that performance.
The Oscars don't mean anything. That's what's great. Did you see that they added a category this year for like most voted on by Twitter users, and it still wasn't a good move. Was it Suicide Squad? Was it? I don't even remember what the fuck it was, but it definitely wouldn't have been like the pick for fan favorite movie of the year.
No, it was Justice League, the Flash scene.
No, fuck.
Right? Isn't that what you're talking about?
Movie moment of the year?
No, I'm talking. Hang on, I'll look it up.
I did see that Flash moment beat out like the Spider-Man moments. And,
wow.
like,
Speaking of beating, Ezra Miller.
Wait, what?
Ezra Miller got arrested again for assault.
Nice.
And
I'm the Flash. You'll never catch me. Punch, you're arrested.
Yeah, everybody's mad at Will Smith, but nobody gives a shit about Ezra Miller. Well, how's this piece? How am I still gonna have to fucking watch The Flash with this dumbass?
Did he assault a comedian? That's the real question.
Oh yeah, another famous person. If it's a normal person, it doesn't fucking matter. But
we all just gonna forget about this too with Ezra Miller, like we did last time. I feel like everyone just was like, "Wait, what did he do?" Even though we all knew he like pushed that girl to the ground. We saw
I haven't
it.
forgotten a damn thing. I've been talking about it the entire time.
I didn't
He's
know
a
it was
piece of
girl.
shit, and his mugshot
Yeah.
looks exactly like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. He's got
That's
the weird
unfortunate.
jaw thing and the haircut. It's bad. We're gonna have to see him in Gay Wizard Hitler.
Flashpoint.
The Harry Potter one coming soon. Grindelwald.
Fantastic
Dumbledore?
Beasts. Fantastic Beasts.
We all said different things, and we were all correct. Yes, that is accurate.
Did I say Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
actually,
he is
and
the
that's
man, yeah.
correct.
The
That is
mind
the-
meld.
that's how long the name of that movie is we all just blurted out random phrases, and somehow they're all included.
It was a mind meld of idiocracy.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
We figured it out together.
Does anyone have anything poignant to say about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? Great. Let's just move on to the trailers.
There we go.
News to us.
That might have played. I don't know. All right. I think that this is the perfect assembled group to talk about the trailer for Choose or Die. Because we are enough fans of dumbass horror, bad video games, and a melding of the two. AJ is our guest. I want to kick this off on your end. What do you think of Choose or Die coming to Netflix soon?
You know, it felt very much like a Netflix movie, and I definitely don't mean that in a good way, because I feel like Netflix is now just this, like, we have these three ideas. How do we hodgepodge them together into one? And this to me looks like video game movie, which when has that ever gone wrong? Mixed with Final Destination. And, you know, I can safely say gory for the sake of gore, not for me. And I will probably watch this very high on my couch one night and regret every second of it.
Give it the old Morbius treatment. Huh?
Give it the Morbius. Yeah.
All right, Brick, what about you?
Yeah, this is also going to be a pass until maybe like late October, and you've already cleared your inventory of Halloween stuff to watch. You pretty much nailed it perfectly on the head with Final Destination mixed with like Jumanji or some shit. Like not Jumanji, video game bullshit.
All right, I'm going to turn this on its head, and then, you know what, Mark, I'll just kick this to you. If instead of Netflix, this was A24, how in are you?
I don't know. Supposedly that last A24 movie they did about
Lamb?
the kids in the 70s.
Oh,
No, well, Lamb I heard was shit as well. X, I think it was called, where they like go to the old like saggy tit grandma's place and try to shoot the porno, and then she ends up murdering them all.
look, dude, if you bet 300, you're going to the Hall of Fame. They can't all be winners.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was curious to see. I want to see how that one scene we get in this trailer pans out, where the guy has a bunch of syringes facing upwards in the sink, and he just like you can see him about to thrust his face down on him. I want to see how that pans out. So
That's-
I
I'm
might
sure
just
you
watch
just
that.
described it.
That's the reason.
That is the exact scene where I said Final Destination. All right. Like,
Yeah,
that's what
I
it
can't
said.
help myself.
I mean, that's just, everybody knows that feeling, though. That's just intrusive thoughts. That's the urge. The call to the void, I think, is how the French refer to it. There's a fancy term for it, but it's like if you're high up, that urge you get to just hurl yourself over the edge.
I could do it if I wanted to right now. I could do it. You know, that's that thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
So-
that. I think this looks good. I don't know. Look, it's a bunch of no-name actors and everything. It's good. Okay. Good comes in different tiers, obviously. For a Netflix horror movie, this looks good.
The ultimate caveat.
Yes. Correct. Like if I said this looks good for a Jared Leto movie, I would be describing not Morbius. All right. Maybe this will be better. We'll go reverse order this time. Mark, Duel is a delightful little homonym play on words there. Karen Gillan and Aaron Paul and Karen Gillan. This is coming to theaters in a couple of weeks here. What did you think of this movie?
I mean, would you kill yourself if you cloned yourself and because you thought you were going to die, but then figure it out you're not going to die? And then they said, oh, no, you got to fucking have a duel to the death. I don't know. I feel like no matter what, I would try to convince myself to team up and take on the world. But yet again, I feel like my clone self would be like, no, fuck off, dude, and like punch my sandwich and then still murder me. So
I love the
I don't
idea
know.
that you think the only thing stopping you from world domination is that there's not two of you. You fucking idiot.
I would love to see Mark playing in this movie and just like a quick close-up shot of like him about to eat a sandwich and then just a fist just crushing it right into the table, and he looks up and it's just him, and then they have a fucking fight to the death in like a cafeteria or some shit.
I'm
feel like
picturing
what-
two Marks walking up to the front of the White House, and he's like, I've come here to negotiate, and they both just get shot in the face immediately.
Holding hands like in Friday Night Lights, like walking up the stairs of the White House, like, hey, we're here.
Oh, Jesus
What Mark just
Christ.
said reminds me of when I think it was Matt Damon said he would have stopped. No, it was someone else who said they would have stopped
Mark
9/11.
Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Trust me, I keep receipts on Mark Wahlberg. That piece of shit.
Yeah.
Good God.
But what if there were two Mark Wahlbergs?
Well, then,
Then
we
he
have
would definitely take over
negative
the planet.
1 9/11s.
Yeah, he would have saved all the planes.
Yeah.
He'd be in the Ukraine right now taking shit over. All right, Brick. You're an Aaron Paul fan. You're a Karen Gillan fan. Are you a fan of the Duel trailer?
It actually doesn't look bad, honestly. I'm kind of in on seeing it. It's like it's interesting, but I don't like the fact that they're like, oh yeah, now that you can survive, like, well, we can't have two of you running around. What do you think you are, twins? Like, okay, just let them live. What's the difference? Why do you have to fight to the death? I mean, obviously it makes good for a plot, but I mean,
That reminds me of the Futurama episode where if you travel in time and you're in a parallel timeline where there are two of you, one of them is infinitely cursed to be destroyed. So maybe it's one of those types of scenarios.
I'd see that. That'd be actually kind of cool.
I do like the idea, though. First of all, the idea that we haven't seen this done before. It's an original idea, and there are so few of those anymore that aren't sequels, retreads, whatever. I'm fine with this. AJ, what do you think?
You know, there's a certain genre of movie that always, I think, leads to like potential for high comedy, which is extremely low stakes played up super high. And this is almost the opposite. This is extremely high stakes, kind of played down low. And I think that could also potentially lead to something maybe very funny. So when the trailer first started, I was like, oh, this looks kind of dumb. But as it went on, I was like, oh, okay, I can see some potential here, and maybe kind of some dark comedy vibes to it as it goes on. And you know, I'll certainly give it a try.
I watched The Bubble with my wife on Friday, and I was talking about how much I like Karen Gillan, and she was like, I don't think I've ever seen her in anything. And I just went on to list off everything that she's seen her in. I'm like, you absolutely know who, like, so I feel like that's, Karen Gillan's becoming more of a household name now. And I'm glad to see her getting headline roles. She got, what was that action movie middle of last summer? That was a Netflix movie, I think. It was decent. But
I remember what
she's getting
I'm
headline
forgetting.
roles. I'm sorry, Brick. I cut you off. You were going to say something.
Never mind. I forgot 1,000%. Moved on.
Great.
Moved
We'll
on.
move on then. The Sea Beast is the next attempt at high-end animation from Netflix. This is coming July 8th. They're really putting some marketing into this. And you know that because typically Netflix will drop a trailer for something 2 weeks before it releases. In this case, they are touting bigly that Chris Williams of Moana and Big Hero 6 fame is on to direct. This is starring Carl Urban and a bunch of other voices that I didn't recognize, but Mark, as a connoisseur of cartoons, like I know you are and I am when we watch them with our kids, yeah, I'm sure Max will be watching this.
I will say one thing. The animator is Viola Baldwin, and you should be looking forward to this because supposedly she did some animation in Morbius. So we got that going for us in this movie. But I think this looks great. It's definitely got it's very similar to, you know, a Pixar feel. I don't know if Netflix is starting to poach Pixar animators as their animators now. I think this looks good. I don't know.
Okay.
I like the visuals again. They really eye-catching, obviously, but they can do a lot with like the monsters that they're creating. It's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon, but with sea creatures, and they do a really good job of like making those like cool giant ass sea creatures that like would make sense in like a weird universe that sea beasts are like, you know, common.
I'm a sucker for world building. But AJ, is it
Brawl,
gonna be
or
weird
else
to
you like
hear
Age of Empires.
Carl Urban not call everyone a cunt?
Well, I mean, you haven't seen the movie yet, so how do you know?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, obviously actors like to take these roles that are kid focused, especially when they get older, because they usually have kids or
yeah.
whatever. And I mean, what you led this off with was my very first thought. I will watch this with my 3 or 4-year-old niece whenever, I guess she'll be 4 when it comes out. And that's when I will watch this movie. And probably again in a couple of years when my nephew is a little bit older, because, you know, it's pirates and it's cartoons, you know? So I think it'll potentially be fun. You just never know with these animated movies. We've seen so many that are just, you know, blah for kids, and some that are like, oh, that was actually pretty good. So we'll see.
July 8th. This is really putting it out there far ahead in terms of Netflix. So we're 4 whole months out. All right, final trailer here, and this is another one that I'll just end up watching on a loop because my kid loves Minions. Rise of Gru. So this is coming July 1st. This has been delayed for like 2 years now. It's probably an evergreen property, so it doesn't really matter. And this is also going back in time to Gru as a child, as if anybody cares about continuity in a Minions movie. But I don't know. Anybody got thoughts on this before we just blow past it?
I think not even talking about this in general, but my first thought after watching was, like, this is a direct result of the oversaturation of streaming services and how every single fucking property has to have an extended universe and origin story. And when no one is asking for this at all, you know, there's no, even people who like these movies aren't like, well, we got to have an origin story here. How can we proceed without knowing this information?
What motivates Gru?
Yeah. What's the true motivation behind all of the Minions movies?
Gru's evil muse.
And I at one side of me really loves the oversaturation of streaming services because we get endless amounts of content, good and bad, to laugh at and enjoy. But at the same time, how much is enough? And do we need to do this anymore? And everyone, please just stop making these god awful movies.
I'll keep seeing them. God damn it.
Yeah, I'll keep drinking that garbage.
All right, let's move on. Good work on the trailers, boys. In terms of news, the endless reboots continue. We're trying to replace the Crow with Bill Skarsgård. Thank you, Brick, for the visual addition there, aka Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I really
clown
don't understand. I know that I'm not the one who typically believes in curses and shit like that, but this property is obviously cursed. After Brandon Lee died on set, like, you gotta stop, because they tried to make this with Momoa. Now they're gonna try and make it with Skarsgård, which that is, talk about polar opposite ends of the spectrum there. First of all, have any of the rest of you seen The Crow?
No.
I have, yeah. I mean, a long time ago, but yeah, I've seen it.
I revisited it recently. I believe it's on HBO. Yeah, because I watched it on Hulu. Yeah, it's on HBO right now. So, Brick, nothing?
No, I did not see Crow. I thought of Birds.
So, you remember when Sting got really big in WWE?
And then yeah.
This was kind of the inspiration for that. Yeah, it was this just like really dark, moody kind of redemption, revenge story of supernatural powers that aren't really explained. Then they did City of Darkness. And it's a property that people love if you saw it like as you were coming up with it. Now they're just trying to squeeze blood out of this stone, and Bill Skarsgård is their next, I guess, victim to put in that role.
Yeah.
He looks just like that wrestler.
Yeah, it's a direct ripoff.
It's a direct ripoff?
I mean, clearly.
It is. Holy shit. It's like literally.
You got to understand, this was like early 90s. Nobody had the internet yet. Like, people were like, no, they'll never make the connection. But yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. And I do think if you're in the mood for something campy in 90s, you can go back and watch this, and it does kind of hold up.
The original? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be a horror movie, the original?
No, it's
or is
more
it like
just
a mix of
broody.
Edward Scissorhands? Like,
It's creepy, and yeah,
Okay.
It's hard to explain, which is probably what made it stand out so much, because it was unlike anything else that had come out at the time.
I feel like it's a horror movie in the same way that Spawn is a horror movie. You know,
That's a good
it's where
comparison.
it's like bad feels, but like not quite like stabby horror movie. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
Not like jump
Gotcha.
scares and shit, more
Hey,
like
go way down.
atmosphere. All right. Apple has picked up the rights to Project Artemis, which will star Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans. So we're putting those two back together, directed by Jason Bateman, who will also co-star in this. So he's been doing a lot more of the directing side of things lately. Obviously, we'll get the finale of Ozark next month. Rose Gilroy, who's the daughter of Nightcrawler director Dan Gilroy, and Rene Russo. Did you know that Rene Russo's daughter was a director? Yeah, so she's writing the script.
No idea.
Not that there's any nepotism in Hollywood. Interest in this. Do we want to see them paired up again?
They had good on-screen chemistry. I mean, it could be weird because they are in such iconic roles together specifically. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But Jason Bateman, he's in there too. I love Jason Bateman's work ever since freaking that Arrested Development.
And now both characters are out of the Marvel universe, so they don't even have to worry about that anymore.
There you go.
Great.
it's like the
Are any of us gonna watch this though? Because it's an Apple property. It's gonna be on the Apple streaming service.
If I can continue to stretch out my free preview, then yes.
The only thing I wrote down for this is Project Artemis, more like Project What Is This?
Nice.
So yeah, that's,
Got him.
What is it? We don't know what it's about, really, do we?
no, there's nothing out there
That's
about
just
it.
literally Zilch. Just okay, just a title.
But
and
it's
some
Jason
actors.
Bateman. Look, man,
Okay.
it was a slow news week. What do you want to talk about?
Yes.
Slap some more?
Yes.
All right, this news bit is exclusively for Mark, so everyone please take a back seat while we talk about Willem Dafoe's dick. In a recent interview with GQ, Ethan Hawke revealed that he shared a nude scene with Willem Dafoe in The Northman, in which the two trip on Viking acid, quote unquote, and howl at the moon. This is a direct quote from Ethan Hawke now. We have one amazing scene. We get naked and do some Viking acid and howl at the moon together. I wish that I would have read that before I went on to read the quote that says the exact same thing. Anyways, and oh my God, if you have to be naked and howl at the moon, he's a great person to do it with.
Who's
Is
a bad
Willem
person
Dafoe
to
just
do it
the
with?
best guy on set? He just makes you do a bunch of drugs and drink and get really deep into your character, because he did that with The Lighthouse with Pattinson, I feel like.
That's
So I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did acid.
I was just about to mention that the other person who you would absolutely die for is Willem Dafoe. So, Jared Leto, Willem Dafoe, Machine Gun Kelly. What do these three things have in common?
Bake ye acid and trip with me, motherfucker.
Okay.
Who would be a better option to trip acid with and howl at the moon
Nick
naked
Cage.
with?
Jeff Bridges.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito was I was going to say him too, but The Rock would be not good because you would just be like, all right, you're just like Jack, and I'm a fat piece of shit.
I'm
Mitch
not
Hedberg.
taking
Andre the Giant
psychedelics
died.
with The Rock.
Who else was fun? Cheech and Chong.
Chris Farley,
Oh, yeah, good one.
I feel like that would just be sad.
Yeah.
Tom
Prime.
Green.
Tom Green
Andy
should get
Dick.
weird though. I feel like it would get like real. Like, are we gonna do this right now? Like, what?
Adam
You gotta
Sandler.
be
Oh,
like
you go there
real.
first. Okay.
You gotta be real furry with it if you're gonna go with Tom Green.
All right. Let's quickly move
Kate
out of this
Blanchett.
topic.
Speaking of drugs,
Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
All right, let's do our recommendations. So I'll kick this off so you guys can kind of get prepared and feel free to weigh in if any of you have seen The Bubble. It was kind of just there. It has some funny bits. It has some very dumb bits. There are parts where, again, you kind of just get this disconnect from reality, and everything relates back to the slap because Judd Apatow said something about, what did he say, Mark? He was talking about he could have killed Chris Rock or something.
You could have killed him.
Could have killed him.
No, he wasn't going to kill him. Don't worry.
These completely fucking disconnected people have problems. Yes, I'm sorry that you were in a mansion in quarantine while we were all in our fucking shithole houses. Anyways, This movie was fine. There's some giggles in there, nothing new. It's fine. Anybody else see it?
Okay. Good recommendation.
No.
Yeah.
not
Nope.
yet. Yeah, real solid with conviction.
Look, it's a save it. I mean, would you rather go into this completely blind, having nothing? I mean, maybe I just saved you from watching something you wouldn't like.
I'll probably still watch it. It's a Netflix movie if
Wow,
you find
fuck you,
some downtime.
All right, what do you got, Rick?
You don't even like Morbius.
Nobody.
No
did.
taste.
Age of Empires 4.
Sounds
Smithers
boring.
played it drunk and got smoked by 2 people immediately, and then was like, "This game stinks," and then quit, and then
All right,
never came back.
Let me
And
Coward.
I've been there before.
let me
Coward.
back up here because I need to reiterate that I did give this a college try. Okay, I did the
No, you
tutorial.
didn't.
Okay, I didn't do
Well,
the.
Yeah, you did a tutorial, and then you played one game where you weren't able to get off the ground because 2 people collided in on you and couldn't let you build at all.
So why would I keep playing with you assholes?
That wasn't fun to do. There's other ways to play the game.
You're proving his point, Brick.
Why would I keep playing with you?
No, because I wasn't one of those assholes.
But the other people we were with were being those assholes, and you were like, "Let's play
Right.
another game," and I was like, "I'm not fucking doing this."
We can do teams, and so I can help you and teach you how to play, and I could be on your team, and we could take it on. It's like
You
just
talk
didn't.
about this game like it's super high concept, and it's not. And like I didn't really like the tutorial was helpful, yes, because there are certain things like that aren't super intuitive. You get it once, yeah, it's you pick it up. You act like I got frustrated because it was hard and I quit. I get the game. I understand the mechanics. It just wasn't interesting.
It's one of those games you have to kind of play out a couple of games to see how it works, because there's
I'm
just a
of
lot
the
going.
opinion
There's just a lot going on.
That if I have to sink 4 hours into something before it becomes enjoyable, then I'm probably not going to do it.
Is
That's
it like
fair, but you're
Risk?
also a coward.
Rick is a huge Risk guy.
Oh yeah,
Is it
world
like that,
domination.
but in video game form?
Yeah, you
That, but
build.
less fun.
You get like villagers, and you have to collect resources, but then you also get to build an army to take everybody out. Basically,
Can we stream this game, or is it with 8 different people where we'll just be talking over us the whole time and would be the worst thing to watch?
You could, but it'd be the worst thing to watch because it's boring.
Okay, we're not.
Smithers also likes fucking cars and lame shit.
Great company.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
You got me.
Cars and lame shit.
Whatever. Give me your spiel on Age of Empires or whatever. There's that.
You don't even deserve it, dude. That was fine. That's it.
Okay. I'm sorry to have hurt your feelings.
Defeated.
AJ,
Rick was
can you
looking
please
so
recommend something?
forward to playing this with us.
You know,
Just-
I have something to recommend, and this is going to be a little long-winded, so stick with me here. I've shown this to Brick. I'm not sure how much he has seen, but I bring it up because of the Oscars being last week. There is a media franchise on the internet that is mostly free for the watching. That is by far the funniest thing I have ever seen on the internet. And it's extremely polarizing, where some people do not get it and hate it more than anything, and I find it to be the funniest thing of all time. There is a comedian, Tim Heidecker, famous from the Tim and Eric Show on Adult Swim. He has a side project called On Cinema at the Cinema, which is a fake movie review show that is a big kind of meta joke about reviewing in general that ends up spewing off into all these different avenues. But the gist of it is the 2 guys that started it were hanging out one day, and they watched a movie review from Siskel and Ebert reviewing Baby's Day Out, which ended in Siskel and Ebert yelling at each other about this movie.
I've seen this. It's already hilarious.
It is, which is hilarious on its own. So they started first a podcast, which is basically like one guy who knows nothing about movies pretending to care about movies so that he has a platform to talk about whatever he wants. And the other guy, all he cares about is movies, refuses to talk about anything else at any point. And there's like 10 seasons of this on YouTube you can watch. There's like 2 new seasons behind a paywall. There are Oscar specials, which are 3 hours of live streaming chaos. It is the funniest thing I have ever watched on the internet. I cannot speak any more highly of it.
I have also seen this, and it is hilarious too. It's a great concept. Did you watch the Oscars ceremony this year?
The special? Yeah. It was on. They do it every year during the Oscars. So
I know.
of course, never watched the Oscars and always watch this.
But
I watched it. It was insane. Totally insane.
The slap? Did they?
No, I mean, like, it's happening live, so they're not watching the actual Oscar. Well, they're pretending to watch the actual Oscars, but I don't think they acknowledged it.
Is each episode, besides these Oscar segments, is each episode revolved around like one pretty like unknown badish movie?
They review like actual movies coming out, good and bad, and so they usually do 2 an episode, and they're like reviewing real movies, and they're put out the weeks that these movies are actually coming out. It's hard to really go into great detail on it because of how insane it gets. At one point, Tim's character goes on trial for killing 20 people at a music festival, and they do a 7-hour real trial with a real judge and like real lawyer. It is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. So there's a playlist on YouTube that has like hours and hours of these things. So yeah,
I want to see one on Dunstan Checks In.
That would be good.
I want to see the Cats review.
I'm sure they did that one.
It sounds amazing.
All right, it's great. Mark, what do you got?
I'm going to go with shout out to Elise. I know she's in the chat. She just doesn't comment anymore because we always just butcher everything Star Wars. But I'm going to say our flag means death. I saw Elise posted in one of our chat channels on Discord the other day saying how good the show was. And it genuinely interested me when it came out. I just never got around to it. I'm 2 episodes in, and I can confirm that Taika Waititi this guy's a genius. Like everything he's doing with this show so far is amazing. I love this sort of humor that they have going on, and the cast, you can't deny it.
Darby. Love that
there's
guy.
a lot of people. A lot of people in this cast that you recognize, but you're just like, wait, what are you from? And you end up going and looking at their cast profile. But overall, I'm having a great time watching this. Our Flag Means Death. It's on HBO.
Yeah, no, I recommended that a couple weeks ago too. It was good. I've loved it.
I caught the first episode. I need to get back into it and pick it up. Did anybody else watch the first episode of Moon Knight?
No,
I did. I liked it.
Mark, how is anybody supposed to know what the fuck's going on if they don't know the comic book story? Because it is confusing.
I think it's pretty.
As hell.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. They're pretty clear that he has, a split personality, or at least one other personality right now.
Sure.
It's clear in the trailer.
I don't think you're supposed to understand necessarily yet, but it's still very captivating. Like everything that happened in that first episode, I would be surprised if somebody watches that's into, superhero movies or shows at all. That was like, I'm out. I would be really
intrigue
surprised.
is everything. That's why WandaVision was so much fun, because you're like, what's this? What does this mean? What is that? What's this?
This has a better start than WandaVision.
It does.
I'll say that.
I made the argument though, excuse me, that this is why when Amazon released Invincible or the first season of The Boys, they dropped like 3 episodes at first and then went weekly. And I think that would have been a better option here because you would have been able to better digest what was going on.
That's what they're doing with Obi.
Sorry?
That's what they're doing with the Obi-Wan project.
Okay, good. So that probably means that it's high concept early on in the season. But it's not to say that it's bad. I really enjoyed it. I love Oscar Isaac. It came out this weekend, unfortunately, that he's currently only signed on for 1 season. So maybe if it's good, they'll just wrap it up and that'll be it. Or maybe he's just a big name enough that he's like, fuck you, pay me season to season if it's good. But
they said a while back, they said they're only doing 1-year deals with Marvel from now on. Like that's what they're planning on doing. They have the multiverse. They can literally sign off on anybody.
Well, it also can be like a spoiler to know, like halfway through a season, that so and so is signed on for season 2. I remember when or not signed is or isn't signed on. Either way, they survive or they don't, or that there'll be flashbacks at least. And that concept reminds me of when the Watchmen show came out, and I was like, it ended, and I was like, wow, that was the best season of television I've ever seen. And then I found out a day later that they're not making a second one. And if I had known that as I was watching, the experience would have been so different. So it's almost like a built-in spoiler to look into that kind of stuff sometimes.
That was like when DC was promoting Swamp Thing. And like 2 episodes in, they're like, well, this is canceled. I'm like, why the fuck would I keep watching this?
Stopped immediately. It wasn't even that bad it wasn't CW. It was their DC Universe show at the time when they had that app.
Yeah, Moon Knight's good though. It's surprisingly funny. I think Oscar Isaac is good with physical comedy, but yeah, I'm sure you guys will check that out, and we'll check back in on that in a few weeks. So, anything else before we move on?
Nope.
I have to produce on the fly.
Time to draft, though, right?
It is. I just had to let the draft sounder play. Sometimes it comes through in my headphones, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm not a wizard, so I can't figure out why, because Streamlabs is garbage software. Anyways.
Yo, wizard, hey.
Welcome
Sponsored
to
by
our
Streamlabs.
weekly draft. Brick, we have a problem.
What's that?
Its name is Mark, because he's won like 3 straight drafts.
How the fuck did he win that last draft?
I have no idea how I won last week's draft, to be honest. I was fully ready to lose that draft, but I won.
I think something fucky is going on, and I don't like it.
Yeah, the only thing fucky that's going on is Brick's friends that were voting for him the last 12 weeks aren't voting for him anymore, I guess.
No comment.
No, I trust in the process. I believe
I feel
Mark
like
played
AJ
it
has some
straight.
insight here that would be good to know.
He has at least once posted in our group chat, please vote for me. So
A group chat of 4 people.
It's the least
a
surprising
splitting
thing I've ever
it's a
heard.
very small group chat.
That
You didn't win
said,
that one.
Psychos only.
Mark, you get to pick the order of our draft this week. I would assume you'd let AJ go first since he's our guest, but you are kind of a dick, so maybe you'll just go punch a sandwich instead.
I'll let AJ decide. AJ, why don't you pick the order? You could go first if you want. or
Sure,
last, whatever.
I'll go
whatever.
first because full disclosure, I've only seen 2 vampire movies in my life, and I think would be my first 2 picks. And then after that, we'll do reverse order from the poll last week, whatever that
Okay.
is. So like whoever got third, they can go second.
Let's be clear though. It doesn't necessarily have to be from a movie. It could be
Oh,
a
don't
TV
worry.
show, anything within pop culture. All right, cool.
Don't worry, I got
Just
plenty of
making
good
sure.
stuff here.
All right, so the draft
Okay.
order is AJ, then me, then Brick, then Mark.
Bummer.
So AJ, whenever you're ready, go ahead and kick this off.
Yeah, I'll go with the better of the 2 vampire movies I've seen. I'll go with Blade. Movie
Good
kicked ass.
I think that's a good 1-1 overall. I mean,
Yeah.
That was my
It's-
one.
I'm gonna be more excited for Mahershala Ali to come as Blade, but those are definitely classics and early on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though it didn't exist yet. And that was the first time I heard cock juggling thunder cunt from Ryan Reynolds.
Gotta say that was probably the first time I heard it as well. Blade 2 also a solid sequel in an age of where sequels were awful. So yeah, I think that's a good first pick.
All right, my first pick is going to be Count Von Count from Sesame Street, because there is no more iconic vampire. It just you can always count on him, can't you?
That was
Wow.
literally my 1 and 2. Damn it.
Oh, chalky.
This sucks.
All right, Mark or Brick, your turn.
I'll do Kate Beckinsale from Underworld.
Definitely the prettiest vampire.
Gorgeous.
All right. Even though those movies are bad and they keep making them for some reason. What was the last one?
There's a lot
Rise
of
of the
those.
Lycans? Ugh.
I likens that.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Mark, 2 picks.
All right, I've obviously never seen this movie. It came out in like the 20s, but I think this
Nosferatu?
yeah, Nosferatu, Count Orlok, I think the vampire's name was or whatever.
So your
but yeah,
first
that's gonna
pick
be my
in
number
this incredibly pandery draft process that we go through is a movie from 1920.
Yes.
A
That you
movie
haven't seen.
that you haven't seen, nor can you pronounce.
He's like
Correct.
the OGs on Twitter. They're gonna get my
Correct.
back on this one. Everyone who votes in our polls. That's
All the
80.
cinema heads.
Yeah.
You better doubt me because last draft I picked Bluffington from Doug and somehow pulled it out my ass. So
Yeah. Doug's from the
Don't be surprised if I
90s.
do it
your
here again.
Main audience, not 1920s, even though he doesn't look
Yeah.
a creepy
Now
vampire.
now your audience is in their 90s.
Yeah.
Oh God.
In the ground.
All right. I'm going to go with Marlowe from 30 Days of Night. He's the lead villainous vampire. I love that movie.
I
It's one
feel
of my
like we're
favorite
running
vampire
short on
movies.
vampires
We're,
already.
we're running very short right now, to be honest. Very short.
Oh, this is gonna get ugly fast.
Just you wait.
Marlowe.
All right, Brick, who's your
Not-
second pick?
Marlowe from The Wire.
I'm gonna go Colin Robinson, the energy vampire.
He was on
from
my
What
list.
We Do in the Shadows. He's such a funny vampire. His whole concept is actually just too good.
Yeah, incredible and way to go non-traditional with the vampire writing in that too. Again, that's like Taika Waititi's writing style. Just
Yep.
somebody who's equally deadly, but in just like the most painfully brutal way. Okay, my second pick is going to be Marceline the Vampire Queen from Adventure Time. Nothing. Okay.
Can't speak on that.
It was
I
on my
haven't
list
watched it.
because
It was on my list. Yeah.
Because it's a vampire that you remembered.
because it's what I've seen.
All right, AJ, you've got 2 picks in a row.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. My second pick, the only other
Morbius.
vampire movie I've ever seen, is Morbius.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's Morbius. The only other vampire movie I've ever seen. I was going through a list. I'm like, I had to have seen more than Blade.
Dude, they're good vampire movies. Haven't you ever seen, like, I Am Legend or something?
That's more of a zombie than vampire, right?
They get hurt by daylight.
I agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah,
You know, it's,
Okay.
it's like
All right.
it's like a virus they get. They don't suck
You
blood.
go ahead and go with Morbius.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with it.
Yeah.
The classifications of a
Taking him off the
vampire.
board.
Do they have reflections?
Darn.
Whoa.
Okay, so I get 2 picks here.
Yep.
My third pick, I'm going to sneak a recommendation into the draft here. This is Synergy. This is what people like.
Okay.
Vampire Survivors. It's a game on Steam that costs $3. I have put like 200 hours into this game since I've bought it. It is very fun. I highly recommend it to everyone. And yeah, check it out.
It sounds like it's more fun than Age of Empires.
Yes, almost certainly. Yes.
He's like, it's a real-time strategy game where you build.
No,
Where
it's
dickheads
about
that you
as
play with
Sounds
come
like
and
you,
ruin your
Brick.
village that you started 30 minutes on. All right. My third pick is I have this here. I'm going to go with Viago from What We Do in the Shadows. This is Taika Waititi. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. I know that it's super kind of indie cult classic movie, but definitely check it out. It's not the typical type of indie classic like that where it's preachy and shit. It's just funny. It's just fucking funny. If you liked Our Flag Means Death, it's the same type of humor. It's just incredibly dry and dumb, and it's brilliant. So Viago from What We Do in the Shadows is my third pick.
I'm going to go with probably the tastiest vampire, Count Chocula.
Yeah.
Flavor Blast.
We should have done this when we didn't have 4 people drafting, because
It is a tight group. Tight group
or
of vampires.
or done it on not Morbius week because of how much of a joke Morbius has turned this whole thing.
Yeah. All right, Mark, you've got 2 picks in a row here.
All right, I'm gonna pick Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Don't fuck it up. You just saw that in the chat, you piece of shit.
No, I swear I didn't.
Look at him.
It was on my list.
He even
if you want to check.
orchestrated the.
It was on my list, number 3.
Yeah, you could
see it,
easily
but
could
there
have
it is.
seen that in the chat and then typed it on. Anyways, who's your final pick?
God, I want to. Fuck. Can I get 2 picks?
No.
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 And merge
Why
them.
would you get?
All right, fine. I'm gonna go Edward Cullen from Twilight. Let's go. Robert Pattinson, my boy now.
You
Man,
just
the
got
ultimate
Darian's
pandering
vote.
was.
He's all of our boys now.
I do.
We got to respect his history.
Second worst
I
Batman.
I told my mom that I went and saw the Batman movie, and and it was stars Robbie, and she goes, "You know, he was in those Twilight movies," and I was like, "Is it really that much more silly to play Batman than it is a vampire? Like, is it that much?"
World bending.
Yeah.
So it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Did I no one picked Dracula?
Which one?
Count Dracula, just Count Dracula.
From?
Chocula?
What? No one's picked Count Dracula yet. I just get Count Dracula.
Take him. Not familiar with this work, really.
Great pick, dude.
Like, are you gonna? Okay, whatever. I don't just Dracula. Okay.
Dracula it is.
Count Dracula.
Okay.
What
I'm going to take who you probably should have taken, which is Leslie Nielsen from Dracula Dead and Loving It, because that movie is fucking incredible.
Is he a vampire? Is he
Yes.
Dracula?
He's literally Dracula Dead and Loving It.
He's Dracula. Yeah.
You do
I
not
get
him.
Dracula.
No,
I
you
get
do not-
Dracula.
you do not get. That'd be like if I came in here and I was like, I want vampires, all of them, and then everybody else just didn't get to pick. That's why I was asking you to pick a fucking Dracula.
But I picked Count Dracula.
I'm not going to have this.
I get
argument
all
with
of
you. AJ,
Count
give me your
Draculas. You
last
don't
pick before I
you don't get-
strangle this motherfucker.
You don't get Leslie Nielsen's Count Dracula. I get I get all of Count Dracula's.
No, you don't.
There's other
get some-
vampires to be chosen.
You don't get 1,000 fucking vampires.
I get Count Dracula.
Every one of us picked a specific vampire from a specific property except for you.
Yeah, because they all have names, and he's Count Dracula.
You two
All right,
up top are literally just going to sit there silent while he tries to railroad us.
I cannot
This is
believe
how-
what Rick is trying to do here.
This is how we're going to solve this issue right here. Brick, you're going to get Jonathan Lipnicki as the little vampire, okay? You're going to take him. And Smithers, you're going to get whoever the fuck you just
Leslie
picked.
Nielsen, thank you. Okay, AJ, give me your final pick.
Yeah, the final pick. So I can't believe he's still on the board, mostly because he's a vampire in real life. I'm going to go with Ted Cruz.
Yeah, good one.
All right.
He looks kind of like Grandpa Munster from the Munsters, who also would have been a good pick.
I was gonna. He was on my list too.
You could have had Eddie Munster in there if you like the Widow's Peak.
Lily Munster.
We had others left off the board. Let's see. We had David Boreanaz. Oh no, Mark, you took him because it was suggested. The Witcher. Did anybody play the DLC from Witcher 3
Wait,
with the
Spike
vampires?
from Buffy? Or you mean David from the Lost Boys? He was good. A good
David
pick, too, that we
Boreanaz
did.
from Buffy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Not Kiefer Sutherland.
the Witcher DLC is incredible. It's all vampires. Adam Sandler as... Oh, I'm sorry. Nobody could take that because he's Dracula.
Exactly. Fine. Instead of Dracula for me, I'm going to take Lily Munster.
No, take the little vampire. Put some respect on Jonathan Lipnicki's name. All right.
I hate you
Taking
so
Dracula.
much. You are impossible to argue with because you just don't follow reason or rationality. All right.
No, dude, you don't follow reason or rationality. You
Man,
dumb
you
bitch.
got me there.
You dumb bitch.
Just
He's
slap
so
him.
mad you don't like that fucking game you guys are playing, that shitty ass roller coaster Civil War Tycoon, whatever it was.
That is
That's
a
a
game
great
I would
way to
fucking
put it.
play. If they
be
mashed all those
sick.
games together, I would absolutely play that shit.
Just
A
fucking
Civil
on the
War
giant
roller
drop shooting
coaster
your
game?
bayonet.
That sounds incredible. All right.
Okay, so a couple more you missed. Monty Burns in Treehouse of Horror.
He technically was playing Dracula, so nobody could take him.
Exactly.
Rick
Okay.
got him.
Rick, I guess me. Yeah.
Brick, your
Dimitri
list is
Donatos
stacked.
from My Mom's Date. Mom Got a Date with a Vampire.
I
What
mean,
about
was
Brad
that?
Pitt or Tom Cruise?
He's a
Yeah,
vampire.
we skipped over like all of, like Keanu Reeves, like Interview with a Vampire. We skipped over
We
all
missed
that
all
shit.
the good ones.
Never seen any
Johnny
of them.
Depp.
Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman won a goddamn Oscar for that role. Nah,
Forgot about that.
I want Count
Count Blood
Chocula.
Count. Blood Count from Looney Tunes. If you saw a picture of it, you'd recognize it.
Probably. But anyways, let's move on to AJ's favorite part of this episode, which is our Morbius review.
Morbius.
So this is a movie we've been waiting for never. 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, somehow 68% from fans. Did anybody see stories about how it's getting review bombed because no, damn it. I was supposed to talk about this when we talked about Moon Knight. Moon Knight was getting review bombed because they mentioned the Armenian genocide.
Oh,
And Turkish people were like, nuh-uh. Anyways, I digress. Morbius sucked.
Politics.
This is directed by Daniel Espinosa, who probably isn't going to win an Oscar for this, although he might get slapped. This movie feels like it was a favor to somebody. I can't explain it beyond that, but no one was asking for it. Nobody wants to see Jared Leto anywhere because everything he touched turns to shit. How long until Jared Leto's angry cult members, a.k.a. Mark and his gang, are demanding a director's cut of this movie?
I'm
we need
already
the
demanding
Schneider
it.
cut.
You want the 4-hour
Leto
cut of
cut.
this movie?
Oh my god.
Great.
There was a 4-hour.
It would
cut?
help piece it together. I'll say that because the writing was
That's
complete
true.
shit and it had no flow.
You don't think that would make this
What?
somehow more confusing?
I'm kidding about it being longer, but I'm just making the point that this movie made no sense.
The
Like there was no
pacing
plot.
was awful in this movie. Let me give my full review here. I have a lot of thoughts here on this movie.
Go.
First of all, watched it under optimal viewing conditions where my dog woke me up at 3:30 in the morning because he had diarrhea. And then I was just up for the day. So I was like, well, I guess I need to watch this movie.
You have a big dog too.
Big dog. Then proceeded to watch the cell phone camera holding up at the movie theater version of this movie at 3 in the morning on my big screen. So really the optimal way to enjoy Morbius.
A lot of coughing in that version.
Yeah. I mean, it made you feel like you were at the movie theater, though, right?
Right.
So kind of nice.
Good theater vibe.
You could really feel the coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to try and be as objective about this as possible because of how much everyone has been clowning on this movie. It felt like one of those super early superhero movies where no one knew what they were doing yet, but it was at maybe post Spider-Man, the first one, where everyone's like, oh, people like these. Let's try and make some more. And no one knew how to do it yet. Very much felt like that. The pacing
Like
was
Fantastic Four.
Exactly. Perfect example. The pacing was completely fucked. The story is just shoved down your throat and makes no sense at all. The blood not being red to keep the PG-13 rating is a hilarious thing to have to do for a movie. And at the end of the day, Leto is a bad guy and he's hard to cheer for, which makes the movie that much worse, as opposed to something like a Tom Cruise where he's a bad guy, but he's easy to cheer for, so you can still enjoy his movies. Exactly. I give this a 0. I really, really hated it. And, maybe if I wasn't watching at 3 in the morning after cleaning up diarrhea, I would give it a 2,
Big dog shit diarrhea, giant dog.
Which was preferable to the follow-up to that, which was Morbius.
Correct.
Okay.
You'd rather have 2 hours of cleaning up big dog diarrhea than that's a good review.
Yes, I agree. And AJ, you hit on something that I really wanted to discuss as well, which is you try to remove it because everybody will accuse us of coming in and just wanting to hate a movie. I never want to hate a movie. I don't want to sit here for 2 hours and watch something that fucking sucks. I want to be entertained. So you try to remove your disdain for Jared Leto, but at the same time, they're making him this Mary Sue God character in this movie where he's a genius who graduates from MIT when he's 19, and all of a sudden he's jacked and
it's cognitive dissonance of an Olympic.
Not all of a sudden he that comes with his powers that he
all of the sudden.
I felt like
Jared Leto they did it with Tobey Maguire.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Mark, is that for some reason I'm much more able to root for Tom Holland to do that than I am Jared Leto. And Brick just mentioned the exact reason why, which is cognitive dissonance.
I thought your all of a sudden was making a point how is he jacked? They've never done this in any superhero movie. Okay, I misunderstood that point.
Yeah, literally Captain America just was serumed, super jacked-o-troned.
Yeah. That look, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just trying to kind of connect why I think that AJ has a valid point. And I don't know, Brick, Mark, did either of you feel the same way? Mark, obviously you had a hard on the entire time because Jared Leto was shirtless, but
I really enjoyed this movie. Florbius did something for me that no other superhero movie has done. No, let's be honest.
This is Mark's idea of an April Fool's prank.
This was bad.
Morbius was good. Gotcha.
This was really bad, but I had, I don't have that undying hatred that you do for Jared Leto, whatever the reason may be.
You're in the cult.
I didn't mind him as much as Morbius. My problem with this was, to AJ's point, the pacing was really bad. I don't think I've ever had such an issue with a plot of a superhero movie, other than maybe Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2006, or not Zack Snyder's, the Justice League 2016, whoever that was, Joss Whedon or whatever. The cast that we had along with Jared Leto, Matt Smith is really just hard to look at. Something about his face and even making him a vampire just made me pissed off. I was like, oh God, this guy is pissing me off.
The villain,
Tyrese Gibson and El Madrigal, you didn't need them at all. They were just, Madrigal, whatever. You didn't need them at all. They're just throwing them in there thinking that they would bring some levity to this, and they didn't. I think every line they had fell flat. I thought the writing throughout this whole movie was dog shit, Brick. Like the diarrhea dog shit that's
big
on
dog
the carpet.
diarrhea dog shit.
Not
yeah.
the easy dog shit you scoop up on the tile floor, like the
And
one
like-
that just gets soaked in the carpet.
Like the
And like-
semi-firm turds that you can just
Exactly.
like, you can actually grab, but like when you shovel it out of the grass, like it leaves behind a streak, so you can still technically
Yeah.
step in dog shit. Yeah, that's bad.
Right on.
That's like Morbius.
And that's in the
Adria
carpet with
Arjona-
like, the long strand carpets. The one like
Adria Arona, I think that's how you say her name. The love interest, the little love story we had here wasn't even a story. It just
How
made no
compelling
sense.
was that?
Not
but Jared
compelling at
Leto,
all.
he's so perfect, so this beautiful woman loves him,
You know,
even though
it-
he's clearly a murderer.
I loved his
The
mind.
The special effects with this weird, like smoking neon purple effect that they
Just
had
like
going
his
on.
hands farted when he threw punches.
They just did so many things that were just wrong with this
You know,
movie.
so a friend of a friend was Jared Leto's personal assistant for multiple years. I'm not making this up.
Allegedly.
This is all alleged because this could be litigious.
Allegedly.
No, I'm going to keep it pretty. I've heard some bad stuff about him. We all have. I'm not going to say anything like that. Here's what I'll tell you about the guy. She got, I think, 3 days off a year, including Christmas Day, where she was on the other side of the country with her family. And she gets a phone call from Jared on Christmas Day asking how to acquire, I forgot, one of them was a bundt cake, but then like a couple other things that are like specialized foods. And she went out of her way to be like, all right, you got to go to this store, this store, and this store, and they're going to have everything you need. I'm not sure if they're open. It's Christmas Day. And his biggest qualm with the whole thing was like not understanding how to physically pay for anything because he hasn't done it himself in so long. And it makes me think about like how when you get rich and famous, and especially when you get money, you kind of stop growing as a human. And that's, I think, what has happened to this man, unfortunately. He was in that band and at a pretty young age, and then just like never had to do any real day-to-day work the rest of his life.
Yeah. He's still in
he
that
got
band, 30
famous-
Seconds to Mars.
He got famous for My So-Called Life, right?
Was that before the band? Yeah, I guess so.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I wouldn't call
think it
him
was
getting
like, He was like
famous.
teenage or like, whatever, Dawson's Creek style, whatever the fuck you call those people.
Yeah.
He had a huge following from that band, though. A lot, not nationally, internationally. A lot of countries love his 30 Seconds to Mars music. I don't know what it is, but
It's
they do.
Yeah.
fine. There's a couple songs that I like, but he's gross. He's the type of dude, like, if he sued us for this, he would, like, want our toenail clippings in perpetuity. Like, after he took all of our money, he'd be like, all right, now shave all of your pubes, mix them together. I'm going to make a shirt out of them, and you have to wear the shirt.
He would
That's what
probably
I
wear the
feel like
shirt
he
at
would
the
sue us
Oscars.
for.
Yeah.
And then
Very
dance
specific.
around.
The dancing is the real insult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just sit there and watch him in our dance in our pube clothes. We're just like, ugh.
So I'm debating how we talk about the spoilers for this, because there is something of minimal consequence at the very end of this. I think it's safe to say that this universe, this Morbius universe, is dead, right?
Yeah.
Undead.
So we can probably talk about the fact that somebody shows up. We good with that?
I
You
think
think
anyone
this is
listening has
Sony-
been properly warned. Yeah.
You think this is Sony just like, hey, I know eventually these aren't going to be our characters anymore. Somehow let's just botch them all.
There
Let's just
is
ruin them.
an interesting thing in terms of the legality of ownership, where if you don't use a certain property every so often, you do forfeit the rights to it. It was the same thing with Fantastic Four, and that's why they rushed out the Josh Trank version that sucked, so that they could retain the rights. It was something like every 7 years, but maybe that's what they were doing here. Maybe they didn't want to give up some of the tertiary characters in the Spider-Man universe, and maybe that's why they're still making that Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. And
Well,
I don't
this
know.
this was made before they had the Disney merger made, right? The
This
Disney
is Sony though, so like Sony still has to retain these rights.
Mm-hmm.
They just bought out the contractual side of it that was. Wait, no, that doesn't. No, that does not impact
Nothing to do
this.
with it. Michael.
But yeah, I'm struggling I'm really reaching here to try and find out why the fuck this movie got made.
I think it's just like this is what they have at Sony, right? They have Spider-Man, they have this universe, and they need to find a way to make use out of the intellectual property they have ownership over, and Morbius is one of them. And so
he is there.
he is there. So like they're like, well, we gotta do a Morbius movie now. And they certainly did it. And now with the spoiler you're alluding to towards the end here, I think this is like, we got to get something out of this. At least we can set something up, and then they can forget about the rest of this movie ever happening.
Yeah, I don't think we need to discuss it any further than that. Just on the off chance that someone is looking forward to seeing this. I don't know why. Maybe Jared Leto is your cousin, or maybe you were a grip on this movie and you want to see the finished product. I'm sure that you, individual person, did a great job on this movie. I'm just saying that unless you're a writer, it's not your fault.
Hey, I'm sure the check cleared from Sony, so
I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's wrap this up. What are we doing next week? Does anybody have any idea?
Sonic 2, I think.
Ooh, that actually looks exciting. Damn, we should have talked about how Will
Jim
Smith
Carrey's gonna
slapping
retire.
Chris Rock leads to this being Jim Carrey's last movie.
Yeah,
Which is
wow.
unfortunate.
Colossus. Change of events.
Also talking about somebody who has zero touch with reality, saying that he would have sued Will Smith for $200 million. God damn it. What is wrong with these fucking people? How are you so
This will
disconnected
always
from
be in the
reality?
ether.
Sometimes you say something stupid and you get slapped for it. Sometimes someone makes fun of your wife and you just ignore the fucking joke, okay? You caught him at a
My
bad
wife.
time. It's not a big deal.
I would have loved to know what was going through Will Smith's head after he laughed at the joke and then he turned to Jada and was like, oh shit, I better go slap this motherfucker. It's like, what the hell?
We're going to get the most bonkers stand-up special from Chris Rock out of this, and I can't fucking wait. I've rewatched this so many times on a Zapruder film-like scale, and at one point, Chris Rock, as Will Smith is walking away, goes into the mic and he goes, I could. And you saw, like, everything in his brain right there was like, I could just fucking eviscerate you right now, but I'm going to be the bigger like Chris Rock handled it perfectly. He did
Very
everything
professional.
right, and he still is. But man,
No.
I can't wait.
Now
to
people
see
are paying
the jokes that are
20x for people are paying 20x for a ticket to his stand-ups now and giving
He's
him
coming to
standing
Chicago
ovations.
soon.
Yeah.
So
Those resale values. Gotta
Shit.
love getting the resale market.
that's a come up. But yeah. All right. So I guess we'll wrap this up. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to episode 289 of the Chumpcast. AJ, we appreciate you hopping in. Your unique brand of hatred is always appreciated. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. I guess until next time.
Jumps out, motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Go Morbius.
They did it. They made one.
It's a movie. that
He was
exists.
there.